Boys and girls, today we're going to talk about communication in the past and the present. And so think about that word past and the word present. And think about what those two words mean. We've talked about them before. And so it's going to be really important that we just review those two words before we look at the story. Okay? So think about past means it's already happened. It's over. It's in the past. And the present means right now. So if you just look at the cover of the book that we're going to read, here's a picture of a telephone that people used in the past. You still see those phones maybe in certain places today, but presently, in the present, this picture of the phone is what is most commonly seen. So past means in the past, means it's already happened. It could be way long ago. It could be maybe just a couple months ago, but it's already happened. That's what the past means. And then the present means currently, right now. Okay, so we are going to look at a book called Communication Past and Present, and we are going to read that book and see different types of communication that people use and how the communication has changed. Okay. Communication past and present. Communication through history. There are many ways to communicate. Communication was different in the past. Long ago, people often wrote letters. Mail carriers delivered them on foot. So you can see this picture is from the past. So people wrote letters, and then mail carriers delivered them. And so when you think about it, today people still do write letters, maybe not as often as they did in the past because they've got other options now. But sometimes you probably will still get maybe a birthday card or a letter from somebody that the mail carrier delivers to your house, to your mailbox. People still sometimes mail letters, but trucks make delivery faster. Okay, so in the picture that we just looked at over here, they delivered them on foot. So they had to walk from house to house when they delivered the letters. And today, if you get a letter in the mail carrier is going to be riding in a truck. And so you can see the little girl is getting her letters in the mail. The telegraph was invented in the 1800s. This machine sent messages. So here's what a telegraph machine looks like. Machines still send messages, but they look different from a telegraph. So it says, what kinds of machines send messages now? So think your parents probably use this all the time, and you probably use it too. Look at the little girl, what she has in her hand. And lots of times now, people send messages through a text on your phone. People used to use radio waves to talk from far away. People can still talk using radio waves. Radios also play music, but many people talk and play music on their phones. People used phones long ago too, but all phones had cords and wires. So here you see the telephone from in the past. And again, you still might see some of these in people's houses, but it has a cord. It had to be plugged into the wall, so you couldn't walk around very far with it like you can with your phone today. And you can look and you can see how you would have to dial a phone number. So it says, how else do you think phones long ago were different? And Miss Bride, our librarian, has a huge collection of all different types of phones from different time periods. Maybe she'll be able to show those to us one day. How do you communicate? And so then here is a chart. This is our nonfiction book, so it has certain features. And so this one has kind of like a little chart that says then and today. And so it talks about mail was delivered on foot. And today, Mail is delivered by truck. Then telegraphs sent messages. And today, computers send messages. And your phone, we're talking about text messaging, your phone is a computer. And then radio waves were used to talk from far away. And now cell phones let us talk from far away. And then we have our picture glossary that just tells us communicate means how to share ideas or words. The word delivered means taken to someone. Radio waves, waves that move through the air and carry sound. And then a telegraph was a machine that sends messages over a wire. And then another feature of our nonfiction text was it has an index that tells me if I just wanted to look up the pages that had bones, I can go back to page 16 and page 18, and those would be my pages with the phone. So that was our story about communication from the past and the present. And we're going to look at one more video here where you're going to hear another teacher from a different school talking about this book here that she has. And I want you to pay attention to things from the past and things from the present.
Hi, first grade friends. This is Summer, and today we're going to read a history article. A history article is nonfiction. It describes what life was like in the past. So the article will tell us about real people and things from the past. This is a timeline. A timeline shows when things happened. The name of the article is going to be Communication Then and Now by Robin Nelson. Communication is sharing ideas and news. Most people communicate by talking and writing. People can use their bodies to communicate too. Communication has changed. People now communicate better and faster. Long ago, people made pictures to tell stories. The pictures could be drawings or symbols. This painting was discovered in a cave in France. I want you to close your eyes and visualize what you think about people making pictures on cave walls. Now, people use words more often to tell stories. There are over 170,000 words in the English language. Long ago, people copied each book. If they wanted 10 copies of a book, they had to write out each copy one at a time. This book was written with a feather pen and bottles of ink in 1453. This is the ink, and this is the feather pen. Now, machines make printed books or ebooks. Printed books are made with printing presses. People read ebooks on computers. So, printing presses copy millions of pages each day. And this is an ebook. Long ago, people tapped messages on telegraph machines. Telegraph machines sent messages using electricity. It took about a minute to send each word. The electric telegraph was invented in 1837. Now, people call each other on telephones. Most people have mobile phones. Long ago, telephones always needed cords. The telephone was invented in 1876 by Alexander Graham Bell. And this right here, he's holding a mobile phone. And in this one, she is holding a phone that has a cord in it. Now, I want to ask you a question. I want you to think about how you talk or write to someone who lives far away. Long ago, people wrote letters. It could take months to mail a letter. Mail went on ships and by horses. Today, mail delivery is done by trucks and planes, so letters are delivered much quicker. People wrote letters using pens and paper, ink, and an ink pen. And she's writing a letter in this picture. Now, people write emails on computers. An email message can be delivered in just seconds. Today, many people write email messages instead of handwritten letters. This girl is typing, and this is a picture of an email message. Now, close your eyes. Picture someone on a horse delivering a letter. Now, picture someone sending an email. What do you see? Long ago, hundreds of people read newspapers. The first United States daily newspaper was published in 1784. People had to buy a newspaper to read it. Newspapers were sold on street corners. This newspaper was sold in New York in 1896. Now, millions of people read newspapers. People can buy printed newspapers. People can also read newspapers on the internet. People all over the world can read news on the internet. Many people get newspapers delivered to them at home. This is a laptop computer, and this is internet news. Question: do you think it is better to read the news in a newspaper or on the internet? Why? Long ago, people could only listen to news on the radio. Radios only make sound. They do not have pictures. The radio was invented in 1895. Now, people can watch news on television. Communication will continue to change. What do you think will happen next? What can people watch on televisions? How are televisions different from radios? The TV was invented in 1927. Okay, this is a timeline. On a timeline, the dates are arranged from left to right and in order from a long time ago to the present or now. So let's look at this timeline. We have the years at the top in green, and then we have the inventions in yellow underneath. So in 1784, the first newspaper was invented or printed. In 1837, the electric telegraph was invented. In 1876, the telephone was invented. In 1895, the radio was invented. In 1927, the television was invented. In 1943, the computer was invented. In 1972, the first email was sent. And then in 1985, the first cell phone was used. Question: did people begin using the telephone or the radio first?
All right, so in that story that you heard her reading, you got to see lots of different ideas of communication from the past and from the present. And so we will see you back at 1:30 for our math lesson.